Across the Netherlands, the car is steadily losing ground in the city. Parking spaces are disappearing, streets are becoming car light or even car free, and more municipalities are choosing to prioritize pedestrians, cyclists and public transport. While shopkeepers often express concern, planners and researchers point to clear opportunities. Cities continue to grow, and there's simply not enough space if everyone keeps relying on the car. That reality forces a choice. How do we use the limited space we have? Increasingly, the answer is to give less room to cars and more room to cycling, walking and greenery. In Tilburg, one executive council member put it bluntly: by halving the number of traffic lanes, the city actually becomes more accessible. In a city, he said, there is no room for everything. Space has to be redistributed. Smaller towns are part of this shift as well. In several places, historic centers have been closed to cars, sometimes only during the summer months. When these measures were first introduced, they often met strong resistance. Criticism came from across the political spectrum, and local shopkeepers in particular feared a drop in turnover. Over time, these concerns have largely faded. Experience shows that car-free town centers tend to attract more visitors, especially people who come to stroll around, sit on a terrace and spend time in the town. Retailers benefit from longer stays and increased footfall, and in many of these towns there is now broad support for keeping the center largely free of cars. From Delft to Leeuwarden, and from Breda to Eindhoven, to Amsterdam, Rotterdam and Utrecht, cities are limiting car access. In Amsterdam alone, 10,000 of the 265,000 on-street parking spaces are being removed to make way for trees, wider pavements and play areas. Cyclists and public transport gain the space that cars once occupied. Utrecht is taking this a step further with the Merwede Kanaalzone, a new district of 6,000 homes that will be entirely car-free. Construction is ongoing at some places, while other streets have been finished. Here, there is no on-street parking at all. Instead, cars are kept in garages at the edge of the neighborhood. This marks a clear break with post-war planning. In the 1950s and 60s, cities made room for the car at almost any cost. Historic squares became car parks, canals were filled in, and old buildings demolished. From the late 1970s onwards, that thinking began to change, and many market squares are now car-free once again. What we are seeing today is the next phase of that national trend, extending beyond historic centers into residential areas. Parking policy plays a crucial role. In new developments, car ownership is actively discouraged. In parts of Amersfoort, there's just one parking space for every 5 homes. In Utrecht's Merwede Kanaalzone, it's 1 car per 3 households, stored in a shared parking facility. The space savings are substantial. A parked car takes up around 13 square meters, and modern cars are only getting larger. In Tilburg, accommodating parking for planned new housing would require the equivalent of 60 football pitches. That space simply does not exist. Concerns about retail turnover persist, but research shows the picture is nuanced. Centers focused mainly on daily shopping do rely more on car access. By contrast, city centers designed for browsing, cafes and a day out often benefit from being greener and quieter, especially as online shopping grows. There are other motivations too. Cities can be up to 5 degrees warmer than surrounding areas in summer. Replacing asphalt with trees and planting provides cooling and improves drainage during heavy rain. Safety is another factor. Each year, thousands of cyclists are seriously injured in urban traffic, fewer cars and more space for cycling help reduce those risks. Amersfoort illustrates the result. With fewer cars in and around its center, the city recently entered the national top 10 of most vibrant city centers for the first time. And finally, the idea that car restricting policies are woke misses the point. With half of the world's population now living in cities, urban space has to be managed differently. That is why these measures are being taken by city councils across the political spectrum.